Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Avalanche, and just before we do, we usually like to look at Bitcoin because it's kind of a strange place right now. In other words, we got all the news in the world right now, and we got to just kind of figure out what's going to happen. And just to quickly touch on it here, we can see that the 200-day SIP moving average is still working as a support level, which is a fantastic sign on the 1 day. And of course, the price hasn't truly gone lower, at least the 1 day candlestick close, lower than 46,800. So right around 46.8, 46.6 is essentially the lowest point in which it will go so far. So that could very well be the bottom. We don't know specifically just yet until the news is completely unveiled here today, of course, but for right now, that's kind of what it's looking like. And it does look like there's a push to the upside here today as well, where we had kind of a bit of a dip and then just a quick ramp back up in the last couple of hours based on the news. Whatever that may entail, we'll find out here soon, of course, but it's kind of going live right now as we speak. But all good things here for Bitcoin. Take a look at Avalanche, of course. We want to just quickly note that we are tentatively above the 50-day SIP moving average, and the fact that we had a nice strong support level at $78.36 essentially become a very good bounce. In other words, we can see previously that the 1 day candlestick essentially couldn't close above about 5 days total over the course of about a month, and then once it broke above, it stayed above the entire time. It's a very common characteristic for breaking an all-time high, especially an all-time high that's tested multiple times over separate dates. So all in all, very good stuff here for Avax. In other words, we're looking like somewhere in the range of $7-8 should be the bottom. That's a pretty strong likelihood. So dollar cost averaging between now and where the price action is at isn't a bad call, right? Again, don't put in your entire bag right now just yet because we don't truly know what will happen today, but overall, it seems like there's kind of more neutral / positive news. Okay, so all good stuff there in that sense. Looking at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and kind of understand here. We got the 50-day SIP moving average working as a nice support level. The 200 is coming up there, so the price could essentially reject off of that. It's pretty common for the 200-day SIP moving average on the 4 hour chart to be a resistance level initially. So we'll see if the price kind of channels its way sideways from here. But technically speaking, we're looking to be in pretty good shape, all in all, for that. Okay, now what we want to do here is go ahead and adjust this as well. Why don't we go ahead and create a new Fibonacci retracement level and just go ahead and kind of see where everything's at for the moment. So we can kind of see that there's a potential resistance forming right at the 200. So in other words, 102, 103 roughly should be a pretty close approximate of where the price might stop if it wants to try to continue upwards. And oftentimes what happens, the price usually will consolidate at a major resistance level. You can see right here, of course, we had a consolidation before it broke above. It could also consolidate here as well, before it decides it wants to break above again. So just bear in mind 103, kind of wait and see how the price action responds to it. It could very well, turn around at that point and come back down to the next closest level at about 91. But ultimately, that would just work as a resistance level for the moment. Furthermore, let's go ahead and take a look quickly at the 1 hour chart and call it a day. We can see, of course, the price is above the cloud, and this is kind of giving us all buy signals, or more importantly, not necessarily buy signals, just giving us signals that the fact that if you're in a long position, you want to continue to hold it. All right. Now, I did release an Ichimoku Cloud video here recently describing that. You can probably find that in the cards above, or after this video here. Essentially, you can look at it in my library. And I kind of explain what that entails, but simply put, the fact of the matter is the conversion line's above the baseline. That's one check mark. The price is above the Ichimoku Cloud, and of course the lagging span is still lagging. It hasn't intersected with the price action yet. So those are all essentially 3 out of 3 complementing factors here, providing us with confirmation that we still want to hold our position until that stops, right? And what is a common characteristic is for the price to kind of stop closer to a major resistance level. So hypothetically, the price continues upwards and stops right here. That'll give time for the lagging span to intersect with the price action, or the conversion line to drop below the baseline. And that would essentially give us a sell signal, right? I'm not saying we need to sell as soon as the price hits that range. It's just that it may consolidate there before it goes any higher, and the cloud would essentially be telling us to close our position. That's basically what we want to look for. But for right now, all good things, all doors are open, so to speak here. Whereas, we really have no indication of wanting or needing to sell, right? So looking very good here for Avalanche. Furthermore, too, just a note, and this is very healthy, you can see the price came up to a 4, and then to a 9, and then back down to a 5, and we're up to a 4 again. So what's cool about this, you see the 4 right here? The 4 is essentially in the same place. So the likelihood of the price continuing up to a 9, and then maybe doing a retrace, another bounce, is very high. Okay, especially considering the climate right now and the general sense that we appear to be more so bullish on the last couple of hours for Bitcoin. There's a great chance that Avalanche could continue much higher. But at this point, we really have no indication of wanting to sell our position. I'd recommend just continue to dollar cost average. And obviously, if you're going to take a larger position, wait 24 hours for the 1 day candlestick to close, or in this case, 4 more hours rather. But you wait for the 1 day candlestick to close and kind of see where it stops, because that is ultimately the most important, right? For major support and resistance levels. So if we get the 1 day candlestick to close just below 102 or 103 rather, then we're going to be able to see that work as a tentative resistance for a little while. And we don't know truly just yet how much further we're going to go, but this does appear to be a nice momentum play, and that the momentum is still in the on the upswing, so to speak, for the more bullish, if you will. And I forgot to look at the MACD, see if there's a convergence. Of course there was, but that was back yesterday when we had that very first increase. So technically we had a convergence back there, and that is concurrent with the 1 hour chart you can see here, essentially when the price broke above the cloud. Okay. So yeah, all good things. Honestly, there's really nothing here telling us that Avalanche, is going to retrace or consolidate or turn around. It's still a momentum play. We're about 4 hours into a 9 hour push, if you will. So we should have roughly 5 hours left of continuation. So hopefully this kind of helps clear some things up for you. Avalanche is definitely in good shape. It's a very good coin, ultimately big picture as well. So keep that in mind also, because if you're not really sure, it's really awesome ecosystem. Gas fees are tremendously very, very low, and it's a great coin to use for transferring and even staking as well, because there's some other opportunities there too that I've discovered recently that are pretty awesome. Really strong return on investment there. Either way, thanks again so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. You take care.